First of all, just a few words. I want to thank for the invitation that came from the Serbian Association of Basketball Coaches, that they gave me one more chance to be the lecturer at such clinic, which is a great privilege for me. And when I was talking to my colleagues, this is not an easy job, since this is something totally different way of communication with the players and working on the floor. And for me, as an experienced coach, it's a challenge. It represents a challenge every time. I want to thank and also to say all the best about the Serbian Association of Basketball Coaches, that despite this situation that's throughout the whole world with the COVID-19 virus, which is not allowing us to meet in big numbers, and to use this and to do this education in the way that we did in the previous many years, Serbian Association of Basketball Coaches found a way to educate young coaches and to give them some new ideas, or at least refresh some ideas that they already had, of course, if they like it. So, once again, all the best for the Serbian Association of Basketball Coaches. Also, I want to thank to my current club and coaches who will help me in this performance of today's lecture. And of course, I want to thank to my colleague and assistant at the Mega team. His name is Vladimir Jovanović, and also to Kidra, the second assistant. Since we don't have the audience, it's different than usual, but we need to function under these circumstances. Today's subject is a technical and tactical development of players, or technical and tactical practice of players through certain models of play. Regarding the modern basketball, you know how you make the advantage in the game, eliminating running, which should be the first way to make the advantage. There are a few ways. Most often, regarding the half court, is pick and roll. Second way is some off-screen play, setting a screen on the player off the ball. And the third way is the low post play. After the initial set where you're trying to make the advantage, the game is starting to functioning, and the weak side is the place where you're trying to use that advantage, and then all that converts into a kick, drive and kick game. So this subject is very sensitive when we're talking about players who are getting from the youth categories, young categories into the senior basketball. It's very important for them to know how to use that advantage that they get through certain sets and certain ways of playing, especially in setting the screen off the ball. The first thing that I want to talk about is pass and passing. And through the young categories, starting from the under 14 and 16 to under 20, we know all the ways of passes that we need to go through, whether it's a pass with one hand or two hands, pass off the dribble, or whether it's a push pass without catching the ball in your hands. But what's important for us today is to try all these ways of passing to function in the game. First, and the basic thing, I will start talking about that drive and kick way of playing. And then the player, when the player who needs to use that advantage after a closeout is being stopped from the first pass with, as it's called, stunt defense, help Erica, the way that he's supposed to open up a pass to a player where that defensive help came from. You will see some easy drills, and the emphasis is on the pass. I will go through the 4 ways of passing, and we're talking about the cooperation of the players, passing the ball to the players who are on perimeter, and I'm talking about the passes that I'm using in training. But these are the 4 most important passes for me to develop the game from a closeout between the players who are on the perimeter, outside the 3-point line. In most cases, those are outside players, but also we need to take into account the players on the 4-man position in a modern basketball, and even 5-man players who are able to play from the outside. I need 2 players. One is with the ball, and the second one is without. The player with the ball is here. Player with the ball here, next to me. You're here around 60 degrees. You're facing the basket, and we're doing everything towards the basket. So this player here will dribble the ball. This is not a closeout situation. We're just doing a detail when they're using a closeout situation. But he will attack here 60 degrees spot, and you will run also. And in the moment when you get to the 3-point line, you make any kind of attacking. First, you're using any kind of change in a dribble, and you attack with 2 dribbles. You attack the paint, and it's very important to step into the paint. Now, in the moment, when this player is changing direction, not before, but that's the moment when this player here will open up space for him to play one-on-one. The assumption is that this player's defender will come here and make a stunt, basically to help from the first pass. So the passes that we are using when we're doing 2-on-0, through the width of the court, as we're passing, those will be the passes without defense in most cases, or there's no defense in between us. Now it's a different situation. As he's dribbling the ball, this player will come here to help, so this defense will be a threat for this dribble, but it's not going to be to make an easy pass, direct pass. So this is why we're approaching. This is what we're asking from these players here, that in the moment, and this player helps here, the last dribble, and especially this last step, and you go wide, this last step to be sideways to open up a pass. Crossover. You can catch the ball, but try to make a push pass. To make a pass off the dribble, to avoid. Okay, I need this. Now let's repeat this into some kind of an intensity. So is it clear what I'm talking about? I want to see you to dribble into the paint with 2 dribbles, make a change of pace, and you go wide. So 1 step to the side, and you take a shot, try to score. This is great. Now the next pair. Wait a second. Just 1 second. Go wider. Go closer towards the middle. You're not going towards him. You're attacking the basket here, and come here. You get into the paint, and then open up a pass. Make a step sideways. Strong. Strong. Let's do it one more time. Start from over there. One more time. There's no need to repeat it. So you need to get into the paint and try to open up a pass by getting the angle for this pass better without taking it in your hands, but just making a step sideways and push the ball off the dribble. Now, the information that we're giving to the players in the game, you can do this in 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and even on 5-on-5. You get into some kind of threat as you receive the ball here, but what this player should always know after he makes penetration, he should sprint out to the closest point. You will do the same thing. Now you make the attack into the paint, one step inside and left leg outside. Now let's attach those two in a good intensity. Sprint, crossover, pass. This is good. Let's do it one more time. You just let's understand each other. They're not warmed up, and I knew that it's going to be a bit difficult, especially for the players. Wait for him to go out. He will try to go out in a full sprint. So make a pump fake, maybe even a drive fake, but wait for him to get out. This is good. This is good. This was good. One more time. Let's show it one more time. Wait. What didn't you do? The first mistake is not to go into the paint, and if you make just one dribble, nobody will help. No one will stand here in that case. So you need to make two dribbles. It's okay for me if you can use just one dribble to get into the paint, but that's impossible. This is okay. Okay. He can get, as the players are older, the ball will be rarely catched in your hands, and this push pass will be opened more often. So the ball now is in the middle. Two players are on the side, so we're going to show one more time, in one more situation, the use of the same pass. So go in front and pass the ball. Now you make a baseline drive, and we're expecting some kind of rotation, and you're doing all of you are doing shell drills. So we're waiting for a big man to rotate. Maybe it will be an outside player, but it doesn't matter. But he's gonna stop you here on this line of the paint. So you need to increase. This player here needs to get the angle for pass better, always on a 3-point line. And this player here has to follow the player with the ball. So you're coming here almost exactly to the position where this player with the ball came from, started the drive from. So you have here a big man in front of you. It's impossible to pass the ball over him, and because of the rim and the net. So you need to to make a step sideways and to make a strong pass. He gets the ball, fake, making a pump fake again, two dribbles. You get the angle for pass better. Again, step out and now. But let's do this in a good intensity. Strong. Okay, let's come on. Let's do it once again. It's okay. Mistakes can happen. Strong. Pass. And the shot. We're not warmed up, so you need to have understanding. Wait. You know what's the difference? If you do 2-on-0 without defense, that's a good pass. But imagine that you have a big man here, so you have to step sideways. You know, this pass is okay, but without defense. So that's the difference. That's why we're doing this.
može. Ajde, hop, i sad ovdje, evo. Bravo, dobro. Ide, 1, 2, korak u stranu, bravo, šut. Može. A misliš to, ajde, stani malo tu odbranu, eto, čisto da te ostane, nemoj da im smetaš. Ajde, nisam razumeo Gidru. Hop, dobro.
Okay, we'll have a big man now here.
Bravo.
Defending.
Dobro, hop, bravo, super. Ovdje izađi, nemoj da budeš blizu. Dobro, ajde. Može još jedan.
One more time.
Jako, i sad iskorak. Hop. Dobro, nije lak pas. Gdje će tamo?
This player, he should come back to the same side where he came from, to the corner.
Možda smo krenuli sa leve strane, malo, momcima je to teško.
Okay,
Može jako.
let's do it on a different side.
Bravo, hop, čeka.
Wait.
Uvek ti daš, ti sad ovdje.
You're waiting here? No.
Andrej da ti doda loptu, kad je on
So, as he starts with penetration here, so you
just
just move for 2 steps and be ready for a shot, because it's a bigger distance now between.
Jako, Andrej. Čeka.
You have to follow him. So, he should not even... Look now. Give me the ball. He's penetrating and he's being stopped here by a big man. So I cannot open up this pass here. They made a good rotation, so I need to know that I have a player behind me at all times. You have to be there. Give space to the other 2 guards on the opposite side to do spacing of their own. This is good. This was good. This was good now. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2. So, one more thing I need to repeat. You need to get into the paint. It's not always possible, especially here from this position, to get into the paint, but you need to make 2 dribbles. And the defense needs to react. On 1 dribble, especially in a spot or into the deep, the defense will not react, be sure. So now, totally the same thing. So these are 2 situations where we do training for the players to make this step sideways and to make a push pass. Next thing would be a safety pass. The thing that I talked about just a moment ago. He gets inside and you're not able to pass the ball to the player in the corner, because this big guy is a big defender, so you need to know that this player here is behind you, that you can make a short pass to him. So you make a back pivot and open up a strong pass with the left hand. So you here, as you receive the ball, and now I want you to see penetrate with 2 dribbles and you move from the corner on a first pass here and you have a shot from there. Okay, can we do it?
Ajde, može, jako, hop, sprint, bravo, super, sad jako, evo, hop, 1, 2. Super je sve.
This was good, just you need to know that your goal is the basket. So you're attacking the basket. So when he receives the ball here, you're watching at this player and you just touched it. No, you just go penetrate towards the basket. You cannot go directly, but the first option for you is to attack the basket. Let's try on this side. Strong pass. I said at the beginning, the player who made penetration here, when he opens up a pass, he needs to find a position outside the 3-point line for him to create space for another penetration. When we're doing this in training 2-on-0 and 3-on-0, it's very difficult to make one more rule, to set one more rule. So when one player makes penetration, give a player, when this player here makes penetration and opens up a pass over there, this player from the corner will never make penetration again. He will make a pass and then the penetration will be made. So on penetration, extra pass is made and then another. Why? Why is this? Because this player here is making penetration and the defense is getting narrow. So if you open up a pass, we're expecting that this player's defender, if he goes again into the paint, it's a crowd down there. So, but this is just for the sake of the drill. But in the real game, you will not do it. So you repeat, pass back inside and. 1-2 paint, good pass. This was a good pass. This last pass was a good one. 1-2. Excellent. So the next pass we made from two different situations. When the stunt is from what do? You make step sideways and pass off the dribble. When you make penetration toward the baseline, big man stops me, and again with a step sideways, I make a pass to the corner. Next pass. The next thing we did is a back pass. Reverse pass on the player who is behind the attacker's back. Now the next pass that's very important is the next thing. This player here is doing the same thing, so he comes here again. That this big man is closing him. Imagine that we have another player in the perimeter in the corner, and the rotation came to him, and we're not able to pass the ball to the player in the corner. The next pass is a strong pass with both hands to this player here on a 45 degrees on a free throw line extension on the opposite side. So you don't have a problem here with the basket. The big man stopped you here, and you have to go up and open up a strong pass, but a pass that this big man cannot catch. Every direct pass is very difficult to go through because you have a lot of players here in the paint. So imagine that this player's defender came to rotation, so this player here on a free throw line extension, it basically is open, and we need this strong pass, two-handed pass. This is the fourth way of passing the ball from these situations. But what's the point here? The point is to move. You cannot just stand here in one spot. So this is just enough, these two steps. So as you see him in the corner, you will not go wider. You can make an extra pass towards him. That's something that I talked about earlier, but now do it with an extra pass. Strong. Sprint. Extra pass. This is a good shot. This was done well. Extra pass. This is good. Now let's do it on the opposite side. So you're finishing. Stop. Now let's do it from the beginning. Let me see what you did.
Samo sekund. Dobro. Gde ti treba da budeš, sine? Gde ti treba da budeš? Biš tamo, dobro. Super, bravo. Pas. Ne na njega. Pas. Uđi. Idi prodor unutra. Ti se pomeriš pre nego...
You make penetration and you go wide here and extra pass. Let's do it one more time.
Može. Hop. Bravo. Evo ga. Hop. Bravo, dobar
This is a good pass.
Odlično. Super. Dobro. Bravo.
This was good.
Super. Bravo. Ovako. Znači, ništa
So this is nothing too complicated, but Of course, you can do drills that can be more complicated and more demanding regarding tactics and techniques as well, but these basic passes that I'm using in the game, when you're passing from inside towards the outside to the perimeter, whether it's a outside player on the perimeter or a big man, it doesn't matter, but there are of course more passes that are being made after the pick and roll game and passes after a penetration on a big man, but we will talk about it later. Since I started this lecture and we talk about techniques and the tactics of a technique, in which way and when you will make this pass. Is it clear? So you will make this pass if you have a stunt there. Sure, if you don't have a defense, you'll push the ball just or even with both hands. But if you see that somebody is doing this defense, well, you need to do it in this way that we showed. This pass will be done when big man comes here in front of you. You cannot make this pass because you have big limitations here. He is big, you have a rim there, so you have to push it through here. This pass here, if he stops, you cannot pass through him, but it's more simple to make a step. You can even make a step back and to make this pass back behind the back. And the third option is how to hit a player on a free throw line extension or 45 degrees, as they say. Now, the next thing, I said at the beginning, the situations and how do you come to advantage in the game. I said pick and roll, I said off-screen game and low post. The next thing will be technique and how me and my coaches are training the outside players to use horizontal screen. Horizontal screen, 5 and 4, 4 and 5 on the box positions. How we're training big men and small players, in order to make the advantage. Now Vule, the assistant, will talk about this. This thing that the coach said, all the passes, we need to get to the situation where we need to make some kind of advantage. These passes, this all will be from the horizontal screen. We have a big man here. I need one guard and one defender who is going to be guarding this guard player, this outside player. This is some kind of a diamond alignment. For example, you will have another big man here. So you will, according to your defender, to act. Now we are in a great position where we are close to the rim, and this is where you as defensive player are starting to play against your designated defender. If he's guarding you from this side, you will get into him for a bit and ask for this pass. Because you have, if this can work, it's going to be an easy layup. In case that he's pushing you to the opposite side, again, you get into him, and if he's guarding you from the bottom, from downside, again, get into him, but you're in a good position to score. And the fourth option is if he's guarding you from this, you need to get him into the level of the screen and then again above his head a low pass, and you can score some easy points. This is obligation when this is obligation to do if you're playing any kind of a horizontal screen, the way that you're starting your attack. And after this, as we're using the screen and getting out of the screen, if I want to go to my right side, but to the left offensive side, I'm gonna make a fake, like going to one side, and like we're playing cat and mouse, I go out, and so as I'm getting out of the screen, and it's very important that if you're with me, I use my left hand and we're going to use a curl. First, I get into a shot, left and right leg, and the jump stop after a curl for a shot. Just follow him. You don't have to defend him strongly. What do we say? First, ask for the ball, go to one side, to the other side, make a fake, and then get out of the screen, left hand close to the screen, and left, right leg and take a shot.
Traži loptu. Hop, hop, bravo. Odlično. Super, bravo.
Now just switch defense and offense. This is a good change of rhythm. Now the next situation. Always, this is always obligation when you this diamond formation. Ask for the ball, fake to one side, fake to, this is the place where you're beating your opponent. This is where you create the advantage for using the screen and for getting into a shot. The next situation is when we go out here after the screen, left, right leg and get into a shot. This was a curl, close to the screen, close to the big man. Now we go out a bit wider here into the position that we're not in the corner, we're not interfering with the big man's space, and we're far away from this player, because very often it's happening. Just go out, use the screen. So on this curl here, this player will help here. And you need to go out on a free throw line extension of 45 degrees. So now the defense are doing a lot of help from the first pass, so this player here cannot help on this wide pass outside. Now just left, left, right and...
Izađi leva, desna, šut, odlično. Ajmo tim. Sljedeći par, zamenite postav. Hop, hop,
sprint.
Bravo, bravo. Tako je, bravo. Gađa ga levom nogom pored bloka, znaš, Aleks. Nabodi levu nogu ovdje. Kako zoveš?
Try to use your left leg here as you're using the screen, get it close to the screener. On this pass, as this pass is coming towards me, I'm attacking this ball and left, right leg for jump stop. I'm making 1 or even a 1.5 meter a distance from my defender in this way. Always ask for the ball first, right, left, side. Emphasize this that I said. We should not go 1 meter away from the screen, because if your player is following you, you will not be able to make an advantage. So emphasize this. As you go, I go close to the screen so the defender can get hooked up on the screen. And while receiving the ball, I'm attacking it in order to create another 1 or 1.5 meter space away from the defender. This was a good shot. Now the same thing. Okay, one more time. Attack the ball here. Attack the ball when you're receiving it. Go towards it. Now the next situation, as we came out here from the screen, our player is late a lot, so I'm making immediate dribble, 2 dribbles, and I'm attacking the paint, whether I'm gonna pass the ball to the big man or to the player that the help came from the first pass. Now we're gonna attack the basket and shoot, make a floater. Floater finishing like you're making a classical layup, but in today's basketball it's very difficult to go all the way without being contested. It can just happen in a fast break maybe, or inside semi-fast break in transition, but we're gonna do 1 and 2 steps and floater shot. If you need, make 2 dribbles, 2 fast dribbles and go into a floater. Now the next situation, we do the same thing. One on the other side. From this leg, I was here close to it, and I've seen that my defender started reading the screen from the top here. I make a full sprint into the corner, and this player with the ball is getting his angle for a pass better. I don't go like this. make some movement sideways, or some players make a mistake in running backwards. No, I make a full sprint here. With the pass, I'm turning my body towards the basket and getting into it.
Opet leva noga, Petre. Leva noga tamo. Ajde.
Okay. This was not bad.
Ajde, bravo. Hop, kako se on zove? Hop. Hop. Bravo.
This was good.
Odlično. Ajde, i vas dvojica niste radili. Ajde, radite vas dvojica da vidimo kako je to.
Now you do the same thing. See the ball first, right, left, and go into the corner.
Bravo, bravo.
It's not bad.
Ajmo još jednom. Bravo, bravo.
Sprint.
Dobro. Dobro, Danilo. Vlado, to je to za...
This is it for now. So, we are continuing. I need big players. I need another big man here. So, we started with penetration and kick out, and with different ways of passing the ball from the inside to the outside. Now the assistant explained the situation with the horizontal screen and how the guard players should prepare it and use it, and how they're going to finish from this. But the best situation here, when we're talking about this horizontal screen, or the diamond as we call it, is to receive the ball down here under the rim. He can play from any side, but you will insist on receiving it here. If he falls asleep, and if he's late, if it's possible, we need to receive it there. But when the defender's reaction, then you have this double exit. You can use one or the other side to go out. I'm going to talk now a bit about the big man and setting the horizontal screen. This is how I'm thinking. You have the vertical.
Pričamo o Andreju, Nikola i Radovan. I Rade. Dobro. Znači Nikola, Andrej i Radovan, imamo tamo Aleksu. Koji je napad, koji je odbrana, sami kažete?
He's the...
Okay. Znači imamo ovako vertikalu. Andrej,
so we have three players on offense. The important thing is that this player here needs to, according to scouting, or maybe you will see the first time how they're defending this screen, and depending on that, if they're following him and they follow him, where will you set the screen? Higher or lower? If you see that you will lower if they're following him, you will lower the screen down, because the space behind your back is much bigger behind your back for this player, with this guard player, to use. If they're going over, this player will take his defender as high as possible, and you will set your screen higher so that the offensive player, or the player on offense, can have more space towards the corner. So now, if he makes a curl here, if you make a very narrow curl around him, even if you have space and this defender is allowing you, if you can receive it here in the paint, that's really bad defense. So in order to separate defense between this player with the ball and the big man and yours, you need to get into the space between the big man and the player with the ball, which is here. So you receive the ball here, and this ball handler's defender is helping here. What will you do? This is a bounce here towards the side, and you have a three-point shot from there. They know that he's going to take a shot here, but you just... Now this... So I'm your defender, and he just wants to stunt a bit here. You have another player behind your backs. So the idea is to separate the defenders from you. So if you go here in the corner, look at this distance, big man here.
Ovdje bilo ko da je
whoever is
agresivan,
aggressive here,
ako je agresivan Petar, to je šut. Ako je agresivan Rade, to
if whoever is aggressive, you have
bravo, pas.
an easy solution.
Ovo je sve jasno. To je jedna stvar. Znači,
If
ko igrač,
defender is being followed,
ukoliko igrača ide kroz
you go lower. If they go through the gap on defense, you go higher in setting the screen. So, in order for this horizontal screen in diamond to be both of the players dangerous, I like from a big man to set this screen, to set it from some kind of a movement, not to. If I'm standing, I'm a static target for this player, and it's easy for defender to see. But if I just make one step, I need to leave his spot. You need to attack. Just with one step is enough. And another information that's important for me: if you make a screen too close to the basket, to the rim, that's maybe the advantage for the offensive player, but your position, if they are aggressive in defense, you killed yourself, for getting good. I like a big man. You go out to the three-point line. So I'm a big man now. As I divided the space between all of these players, I want to also split it between the horizontal. So if this player is a bit late, so he helped here, I'm leaving space here behind his back for a dunk. If that happens here, if I'm setting a screen too low, that's not going to be possible. If it happens in a situation here that I split this space, not half and half, but a bit below the half, so that every help that comes from here, I'm going to punish by running behind his back. But I need to leave enough space for him to see me. So, if he is following him, he go lower with the screen. If he's going over, you go a bit higher. So always use at least one step in setting the screen. And the fourth thing is to leave a space for you as a big man to be able to punish him when your defender helps. So those are the 4 or 5 things that the big man needs to know. I'm again talking about the way he plays after the horizontal screen. Okay, you're following him? So the first situation, that's not very common, and I think that this defender will go to the bench. So if the big men are setting the screen by making a jump stop in one contact, I don't like this. No, I want a parallel stand and just one contact. So if your right leg is here, left, so he wants to help on this cut that he made, so he's like, oh, I just want to flash here from a big man. You run full sprint. So the big man's defender will help on this closeout and... One more time. One more time, the same thing. That's good. Now they're going to switch defense and offense. Now get back. I'm an offense now. Now the same situation is happening. So he saw that this defender saw that I'm doing this flash, but he's not going to be too aggressive. But he's going to be with his left hand a bit Now, you're passing, and I see that I cannot just make a flash. That's too little. I'm setting a screen in this moment. This is my target here. I'm the first target, so the player with the ball should watch me first. In that moment, I make this step over and then flash again. He's showing with the whole width of his body to the player with the ball in order to receive it and to go towards the rim. Up again, screen. Now let's change defense and offense. This is not a practice, so this is just educational. This is just an education. So he forgot to set the screen. No, you just first do this first. Set the screen. Play defense. This is what you're supposed to do. Screen, step over his leg and flash. One more time. You gotta see his leg. And show up yourself to receive the ball. Now we go on. Now the big man set the screen here. Now the big man set the screen, but this defender is playing a smart defense, and most of the defense will be doing this. This defender here is to push me towards the baseline, to lose this solution, how the defense will go. For example, just push him and make a gap. So look at the space behind me. Look at the space behind me for this player's shot. So if he pushes me toward the baseline, and so this player here does not have a shot. So you opened up a gap here. You're defending here, and you opened up a gap here. So you're going towards the gap. You attack me with your left. You follow him in full sprint. Now, in the last moment, you go through the gap. You read. The player on offense read. Now, you have information because of this gap. He opened up a space. Who will this space between me and the defender eat? He will be the winner. Whoever eats it first. But I'm thinking about him all the time, this defender. So, the moment he passes through this gap, so the moment when he passes this gap, just make a step towards me as they pass. Just get closer to me. Where am I opening up? I'm opening towards the baseline, and that's the good. You know what you're supposed to do? Okay, let's see once. Now let him receive the ball here. And after this step in, show your target. Do not do this. If you push your forearm, that's an offensive foul. But show your hand as further away from him as possible, and finish up even if you can without the dribble. It's possible. I'll be playing defense here. Show clearly a target that's far away. This is the detail. It's not a foul, but it's very useful. When he passes, I'm not chasing his leg over here, but I'm here trying to get in front of both leg and then make a back pivot and finish up. So, strong. This is good. This is a good stance, low stance on offense. So, we have on two aggressive defense, we have a flash. On a medium, step and flash. And on smart defense, like opening up a gap and opening enough space to be aggressive, to eat the space and to make a step in and to build position with 2 feet in the paint. The last thing that I want to say, I'm talking about Peković, who is a strong 5-man. And if you're too aggressive, if you're in 3/4 defense or in any kind of defense where the guards are helping, you're dead. You have to just take care of him as a very strong big man. I'm close to him and I'm not interested what this player here will do, whatever he does. But if I help just a bit, any step, you're dead. So I'm just standing like this for half of a body. I'm a strong big man. He's not reacting on a shooter. So my next move is I go directly into him. So if I turn around, I'm outside the paint. The first thing I do is get into him and make a back pivot, but not towards the basket, which is a mistake. Why? I set a screen and made a pivot towards the basket, which most of the players will do. Look where I am. I don't have, from the second box to the baseline, I can just use this little space for some maneuver that I want to do. I'll set a screen and open up towards the bill. I will try to, now I'll make a back pivot, and from here I'm trying to make a solution without a dribble or with just one dribble in most cases. So both of you are setting screens. So in the moment when he passes the ball, you make a step inside and back pivot and pushing him inside. Let's do it once again. This is okay. Try not to turn to this side, but to the middle. This is a bit unusual, but try to do it. Now listen to me carefully. You have a situations. He's defending me behind. So if you try to catch the ball, he's behind you. He's not from any of the sides, but if you try to receive the ball in this stance, it's a matter whose hands are longer. So you have to keep him with your back, like this. In the moment when as the ball is flying towards you, you bend yourself and go for the ball. This was good. This was great. That's good. That's really good. So one more time. The assistant talked about the way of preparation in using the horizontal screen. Very important detail is to attack the screener with closer leg. We said about the spots that we are attacking, the elbow, but that's the spot that's between the screener and the player with the ball. That's important for defense, because if the help comes, we'll have a great advantage. We talked this regarding guards. The very important thing that the assistant said is that when you're receiving the ball, do not go away from it, but I'm emphasizing this, go towards the ball, and you will get 1 meter to 1.5 meters more space. Regarding the big man, we said about the position of the screen. The position of the screen, if you want to have the advantage to make a flash inside and the 4 ways of using the screens when the ball is outside on the top or when the ball is being received by the player who used the screen. Now, can we attach both drills that we showed? Did you attack? Did you attack the ball under the rim? Okay. And you go wide. You will not stop. You will make a third. You will do the third option. You go to the big man goes to the baseline. He's attacking the middle, and you go wide here to free throw line extension. So what do you do now after you pass the ball? In full sprint, you go outside. Sprint outside to the closest spot. Now, depending on what this player here will do, you're going to go wide or you're going to stay or even get closer towards me. Now when I make penetration baseline drive here, you're following me, and now we're adding one more pass. We're making a drop pass or a bounce pass off the floor. For the right-handed players, this drop pass can be made like this. And it could be great if you could do it with the left hand here when you're attacking from the left side, to push it with a. If my left hand is weaker, I can do it even with the right hand, as he showed. But it would be the best if it's possible from the left side when you're attacking from the left side to give the pass with your left hand. But if not possible, it's okay to pass it with your right. Stop. Why did you stop? You made a curl. There's no stopping here. You do it in full sprint. No, I'm apologizing. It's not their fault. But try to do it as fast as possible. Now the next team, the next group. Strong. Wait. You know what the biggest problem is here? The top players, they are without. It doesn't matter whether they do it 1 against 0 or 1 against 4. They always have a good scenario in their head. So the coach told him to make a curl. So already before you got the ball, you're watching this player who is going. I wouldn't mind if you may go for the layup here. Okay, no, but they do stunt. You know, I can open up a pass here. No, the first option for you is the basket. This player here who is going wide is the second option. And now. One more time to the opposite side. Okay, no, we'll do the same. We'll do it on the same side. Strong. Sprint. This is good. We need to score this. Sprint. Now you receive the ball.
Andrej, ti primi loptu. Kako primaš loptu? Bravo. I sad napravi
now make a reject to the opposite side. And I want you to give this pass back. And you go out, you make a full sprint into the middle, tag the middle, and a drop pass towards the big man. You can do it with your left hand, but if it's safer for you, do it with you. We're making this safety pass. When this player comes here, it doesn't matter what's happening on the weak side. He needs to know that he has a player behind his back because they trapped him down there. They made a good rotation. This player, this pass should be open to this player behind his back. You know what the problem is here? Always use two dribbles, but you're not playing to score a basket. You're not attacking the basket. I want you to see that you are attacking the basket like an animal, and then you pass the ball. And this is a different situation because he was attacking the basket.
Bravo. Hop, ajde, jako. Dobro. Odlično. Dobro. Šta?
It's all about details. The whole world is playing this, not only in Serbia, but the point here is if you step here with the right leg, each good defender, so as you're moving towards the professional basket, you will meet better and better defenders. If you step away from him, you will not be able to receive the ball. No, we're playing, and he's going to say, we're playing diamond, but it cannot work. Why? The idea and the point is, each offense will work if every detail on the court is being done in the right way. If I'm running and this big man is not setting the screen, I will not be open and he will not be all alone open. If I'm running and the big man sets a good screen and I take a shot and score, and even if so me as your defender or defender on a big man, this is a man who's going to score. I will be this aggressive, so he's not going to be open up. The big man is. So everybody's happy, and that's how the offense works. But it's up to you how we're going to prepare using the screen, and the big man how he's going to set the screen. So everybody should do their part of the job in the best possible way, and to pay attention to details. Now we're going to get back to the beginning, where I said, where I was talking about way of building the game, and we're going to talk about pick and roll, two against two. I'm going to talk about the big man, and my assistant is going to talk about the guards. Now we're going to do the same. We're going to do the same thing from the diamond alignment again. We will attack the ball, left, right leg, and pump fake. I need just one big man. The big man can come from the second low post position. He comes here. This is a static pick and roll on the ball side. If I'm open, left and right leg is the jump stop for a shot. I'm defenders. In all teams, defenders have a task to get as closer to their player as possible and to try to fight with the player on offense to get through with the least possible help from the big man. We want to punish that to make a fake, like attacking the pick, but to make a reject to the opposite side. That's the first drill that we're going to do, is to make this auto pass, pump fake, pick and roll, fake, and reject to the opposite side. Just off, and we're gonna go left leg in the air and the left hand in a finish on the basket. You make an auto pass. Pump fake, pick and roll fake, and reject, and the layup.
Znači, Aleksa, znaš šta radiš? Znači, hoću da gurneš
I want you
ovog
to
igrača preko
push your player over the screen, over the pick here, and go to the opposite side.
Tako je, svi. Odlično, bravo.
Now, next thing, as we got into this left and right, always left and right on this side, make a pick and roll fake, and we go off the pick, and we got. Now the defender is in the level of the screen. Now we can make a good pick into the middle. If we don't do this reject, which most of the players are not doing, they're rarely the ones who didn't know how to play this and made a good careers. We will have a problem. If he uses this first pick, we will be in problem here. We will not be able to give a pass to the big man or even to get help on defense to make some kind of advantage. So I'm making a fake here and attack, and this is the moment when we're changing the speed. 2 dribbles, full speed, and we're attacking the paint. And we get into a pull-up shot. Always what I said, left and right, jump stop, pump fake, make a fake like attacking pick, reject, and you get back into pick, and with 2 dribbles attack the paint and the pull-up shot. This was a bit too deep. You stay here on the 3-point line and you attack from the 3-point line. Do not get deep into inside the 3-point line. Not this much, as he did. Okay, I will pretend like I'm playing defense to make it more realistic. This is okay. This is good. Okay, let's do it to my defense once again. Pump fake, pick and roll fake, reject, and repick. As you made this reject, stop here for a moment, and then from a good move, make 2 dribbles and a pull-up shot. Watch the basket. So next thing that we're going to do is the same entry, left and right leg, pump fake, pick fake, away from pick, get back into after the second dribble. You will make a small hesitation. We slow down, see if the defense made a reaction from the first pass or from the big man, and then afterwards another dribble and the shot. So 2 fast dribbles, and after the second dribble we slow up, left and right, and again shot. Okay, like before, 2 dribbles, and then we slow down there, and not bad. These 2 dribbles have to be 2 fast dribbles in the same way, 2 fast dribbles, and then slowing down and emphasize everything. Attack more into the deep. If you need 1 more dribble, be free to make it. Okay, I will be a defense. You're going too deep inside. Do not slow down on the first dribble. These 2 dribbles, that's the spot when you're beating your opponent. He closed one side to me. I'm beating him here. I'm not beating him there. This is 1, 2 dribbles, and I go up. This is not bad. attack more into the deep.
Još ti. Može. Dobro, nije loše. Pogledaj, ajde. Pogledaj bek, ne pogledaj centar samo. Pogledaj samo centar kada je vreme.
Also, very important detail. After the second dribble, to slow down. What does that mean? You have to watch at you have to pay attention for the big man. If the help comes from his player, you can push the ball down to him. So the head is always up. You're watching in front of you where the help is coming from which player, in order to be able to pass the ball there. After these two dribbles, you make a jump stop and go for the penetration. We're going to make a jump stop in the paint. It should look like this. He's going to show. This is the finish that I want. This is great. This is good. This is all good. See watch the big man. Now this thing here, pick and roll, and we wanted to watch it through the eyes of the big man. A few informations first. Regarding pick and roll on the side, whether it's a side pick on a free throw line extension or elbow pick, I like a big man to set the screen under, to be parallel with the sideline, to have a 90 degrees angle. The way that he's going to open up from this is, I don't care. I'm talking about his roll down. Somebody likes to use a back pivot with elbows in the air, trying to keep him behind. Somebody likes a front pivot. It's an individual thing. I like both things to be done until the player decides what techniques he feels more comfortable playing with. We're talking about side pick and roll when we have a player in the corner, or pick and roll, side pick and roll where we have and without a player in the corner. If the screen is set on the free throw line extension of 45, if I'm a ball handler, I'm going toward. If I'm using this screen, I'm going towards. If he's setting it under the 90 degrees, if I do this job about in reject, the thing that we talked about previously, I have a good way for all of this as a guard. That's one information. The second information is pick on the top here. The big man is setting a screen under 45 degrees. He's setting a screen under this angle. If he sets under 90 degrees, I'm going towards the sidelines. My goal is to get into the paint, so this angle of the screen is bringing me to be dangerous all the time. A different angle is pushing me a bit more towards one or to the other side. Somebody will agree with me, somebody will not, but this is how I do it. The second information is what should be the time that the big man is going to spend in setting this screen. If our opponents are playing non-aggressive defenses like contain or drop, the player has to stay longer in the screen. Okay, I needed two guards here. One player is an offense one. So if it's a contain defense, the big man is in drop position. So this player, the big man has to set a good screen here. What does that mean? He cannot, the ball handler cannot open, can have the advantage if he opens up immediately. So we made no advantage at all. So what should happen? You should set a good screen. I should prepare and get into a situation to attach a big man's defender with me, and we will have this kind of a finish. If defense is aggressive, I'm talking about step out, hedge, however you call this help that the big man is providing, the time that the big man is spending in a screen is shorter. If it's non-aggressive, if it's contained, the time that the big man is spending in setting the screen is longer. If the screen is coming from here, and you see that, and you know that they play hedge on defense, and you see over the screen that he's going by heart here outside, you just go slip. You just make a slip here. Smart big man will do that. So there are two things: the angle of the screen and the length of the time that you're gonna spend in the screen. It depends on the defense that you're facing. If the defense is not aggressive, we're staying longer. If they're aggressive, we stay shorter. Or we can even make a slip if they're doing defense by heart. And now you do the same thing like you previously did. They're playing contain defense. Imagine that they're playing contain defense. The big man is in a drop position. He's setting a screen. Big man is setting a screen under 90 degrees, and you come to the point here. You make this kind of hesitation, and you see a big man who's rolling down. So we have another information here. You set. Carry the ball. Carry the ball. So, if the defense is not aggressive, how are you going to roll? If we play against the drop, you go away from the ball handler. Okay, I will be the big man on offense. So, if it's not an aggressive defense, I'm going away from the ball handler. I'm making a distance between the ball handler and myself. So, this player here is late because I set a good screen. Now, we're making a situation almost like a fast break, 2 against 1. If somebody else from the defenders gets included, it's not 2 against 1, but you have an advantage in numbers. It can be 3 against 2 or 4 against 3. But if I set a good screen there, and if you attach the player to yourself, I cannot go directly towards the basket, but I'm making distance. But this is like 2 against 1 in a fast break. In the moment that the assistant said, make a hesitation here, and you make a decision. If he is closer to me, you take a shot because he backed down, and it's better. If he's closer to you, you make a pass towards me, but that's a strong dribble and small hesitation whether you're gonna go into a shot or dribble. I'm making this distance between the ball handler and myself to create enough space for the ball handler's decision. Do it from the beginning. This is okay. Now get back. If the defense is aggressive, we're talking about hedge, he's gonna jump out. The ball handler cannot go can go wide, so we cannot spread ourselves, but we have to go into the deep. So you're gonna roll directly towards the basket. What does that mean? It can go a direct pass for a short roll, but if the pass can go, if they're playing hedge, you can pass the ball here and use this player to hit the big man under the rim. If it's contain defense, you make a distance from the ball handler. If it's hedge defense, you make a roll towards the basket directly. So the ball handler has to use the step side pass if they hedge on defense, and we're going to use another guard player to pass the ball to the big man. Okay, let's do it from the beginning.
Super, super, sve nek uradi. Rade, nemoj na pamet, Rade. Ide dobro, hop, dobro, hop, evo ga. Sad, hop, hopa, bravo, bravo, bravo. E sad, kojom brzinom izbacimo loptu iz trapa.
Depending on the speed that we take the ball out from this trap and from the hedge, that's directly the roll depends on that pass. So it has to go just a bit faster. Now let's do it one more time. I want to show one more thing. For example, the guard player is in the corner, and you play this elbow pick and roll, and the same defenses, and you need to pass the ball down there. How are you going to pass the ball? Okay. So it's a hedge defense. They do hedge on defense. You prepare everything well. So make one or two dribbles and then get back here and open up a pass towards this player in the corner, and the big man is opening up down for the dunk. This is great. So we have now a lot of information which are a part of a technique, but also they are also technical details. Wide roll to contain, direct roll on a hedge, an aggressive defense. Now the guards know what kind of pass they're going to use, how they pass the ball on contain, and how they pass the ball in order to make a solution on hedge defense. There is a pass with both hands, but we're not going to do it today. And the third thing that I want to emphasize, in case they switch in defense, for example, and they're aggressive, what kind of role is in this case? Now you go to the opposite side. Drop first rim, hedge is directly to the rim, and when it's switched, you roll to this side, so that the player from the weak side, I'm X3, for example, I don't do re-switch, so you're running away from me, so that if we want to decrease the mismatch, he will need to run more, so this is a big closeout here, so you will not be in a mismatch, because there are two guard players outside here. So now, can we attach and combine all the things that we did? I need one more guard here. Now let's connect all the things that we did. So you're in the middle of the paint. You're in a diamond alignment here. Now we attach everything. So you're preparing, using the screen. You have information. You're far away from the basket to make a flash, and far away from the baseline for this player to open up, to read whether his defender is going over or following him. So you're preparing with your left hand close to the screener. You receive the ball, and we're gonna switch. We're gonna exclude the options and get into the pick directly. And you're in a contained defense. And you do the same thing. You have preparation. You have fake. Go away from the screen. So we play to score. in this situation, but not in full sprint. So he will make some stunt, and you go here to a free throw line extension, and you're waiting for the reaction. If they help you have a pass here, and we have a closeout here, and all the passes that we did from at the beginning of the practice, we can do. You attack the baseline, and you see if the big man is here, he needs to come up for a flash. If he stays on the opposite side, you need a pass with both hands. I hope this is not too much for you, but let's try to.
Ok, pripremi, bravo, ide, hop, bravo, sad jako, evo, hop, bravo, odlično, prodor, bravo. Ne, čeče, dobro.
Okay, big man, you just run away. You saw that the pass went there, and you just wait a bit for. Do not attack the paint while the big man is making a flash inside the paint. Wait for him to get out, to clear the paint. So the big man has to go outside of the paint immediately and to do it faster. Okay, he should just move down to create enough space for him to attack the paint with penetration. Okay, be free to do whatever.
Dobro, hop, bravo. Dobro, bravo. Hop, ide, bravo. Evo ga. Hop, bravo, beži. Evo ga, jako, prodor. Tako je. Dobro. Ajde,
Now just switch defense and offense.
Može, Nikola, ti si ovdje mogo malo da odreaguješ, Nikola.
Okay, the big man.
Samo zaustaviš Andreja, pa Andrej gurne pas dole na radi. Ajde. Može.
The big man defender could have made a reaction here, so to try to force them to pass to the big. Wait.
Aleksa.
So the guard with the ball, he didn't play pick. If the defense is not aggressive on pick, we say that it's contained defense. You attack. You attack the big man here and wait for his reactions. But you will get help from the first pace in contain in most cases. So
Unutra, bravo. Evo je sad jako, bravo. Dobro, stop. Znači, Aleksa je dobro radio, a ti napravi...
You need to make flash and you wait for him to increase, and after it you do whatever you want, but it was all good.
Niđo, nema spavaš, ej. Čeka, rade, gledaj loptu. Može, ide. Hop, jako.
Stop.
Opet ja pričam nešto.
Again, you set a good screen. Here, you prepare the screen as, but you see how the defender is playing defense. So if he's aggressive, attack him by flash. If he's not, you have a low post and dump pick. We're trying to attach and to connect all the things that we did. Wait. What did I tell you? To big man. As the guard receives the ball, I want you to punish him with a strong positioning first. So the big man has to position himself strongly down. That's it. And then now pick. Just one more time. One team and one more time the other. It's going to be difficult when you play on a senior level to go to the layup. It's going to be very difficult. You have to take some alternative shot or to pass the ball. This was good. First we have a post up for a big man, then pick, and then we read defense. We see what they're going to do on defense, and then depending on that, we make solutions.
Gore. Dobro, dobro, bravo, bravo, dobro, dobro, dobro.
Thank you, guys.
Hvala vam.
You've been great.
Nije bilo
It wasn't easy under these circumstances to do this.
čekaj ovim ostalima.
Thank you, guys.
Dobro, dobro.
So,
Otprilike,
I would call this, it can be tactic of a technique, tactics in some circumstances of cooperation. We do techniques in 1 against 0, where we're doing with the guards ball handling or some playing without the ball, and we talk about techniques for a big man. We talk about playing with the ball or without the ball on a low post, but the technique that is saying about the cooperation, how to create advantage in pick and roll, for example, because we talked about pick and roll and about horizontal screen, and what's happening as the circumstances in making the advantage on the inside or outside, and how to use that advantage that we created. We talked about that kind of technique. What's happening when the big man is helping on a horizontal screen in 3 or 4 ways, when it's aggressive defense, when it's not aggressive defense, and how a big man should use the defense that his player is. If you say whether it's a technique, maybe it is. It's not being done very often, but it is part of a tactics as well. So it depends directly on the way the defense is playing. The assistant Vule talked about the way of preparing, using the screen, depending on the reaction of the defense and how the opponents play defense, whether they go over or they follow him, and about the finishing, and especially attacking the screen with the closer leg, and also attacking the ball when receiving the ball, where you create 1 and 1.5 meter advantage. If you do this technique well, you create good circumstances to for sure, if you do good reading, and if afterwards somebody will be open, whether a ball handler will pass the ball to a big man or to a player on the wing who created good position for a shot. It all depends on the right reaction of defense. The same rules we did on pick and roll, where we explained to guards how they prepare pick and where is the decision being made, and when, whether they pass the ball to a big man and they get into finishing, finished by a ball handler. And I explained just a few details regarding the angles and the time that the big men are spending in setting screen on pick. So when the advantage is made, especially in that moment, we have a hard pass game that we talked at the very beginning of the practice. I think that most of the players know, and in Europe, the basketball comes down to that, to play from closeout situations and that drive and kick situations. But you need to create that situation. It's not easy to. First of all, we need to find a way to create that thing. So my colleagues and myself tried in some way to explain that few situations. I would just want to use this opportunity, since there are no questions, obviously. I would like to use this situation to thank to the Serbian Association of Basketball Coaches for this thing, for all of these things, and they allowed me to present all of this, and to thank them for organizing this clinic in these difficult circumstances with the COVID-19 virus. and thanks to the guys who were helping me, because this is not a practice, this is a show-up practice, so they were focused enough, and thanks for the help that they provided him. Thanks to my club, to Mega and to Mega Factory Basketball Gym. Also thanks to all of you. Thank you.